Three Weeds, Volume 2. This time it's about trees. So I'm going to run through 3 tree weeds. I'm going to show you that they are worth keeping, and they're worth keeping especially if you're in drought conditions because you can feed them to your horses. So as you can see, when it stops being wiggy, it's pretty dry here. Kind of depressing actually. And I'm not mad about buying in hay, like I will, but far out, it's expensive. And also with it comes some seeds and species that you may not exactly want. So what I've been doing lately is using fodder from trees that people consider weeds and feeding them to my horses. So the first one of these bad boys, possibly the most divisive, is Willow. And I completely changed my tune on Willow after I listened to Peter Andrews' theory, natural sequence farming. And the thing that is really cool about him is that his system he worked out based around horses. Like most agricultural stuff is based around like production animals, so sheep and cattle. So Willow, it's a very high protein feed. It has a thing in the bark and the leaves called salicin. It's been used for its anti-inflammatories and its anti-pain properties. It's fodder, but it's also medicinal, and that is right up my alley. And in the event that it's up your alley, don't cut down your willow trees. All right, I'm going to show you 2 more, and then we'll go out and feed the horses and see what they think of it. So the next of our weeds is poplar, which is pretty similar to willow actually. I think they're from the same family, don't know. So poplar's considered a weed because again it's invasive, which you can sort of see these little suckers going up, but when they're invasive it also means that they're easy to plant. And earlier this year, no, last year, I heard about just taking cuttings, so they're called poplar poles, and you just pretty much lop off like something like this and stick it in the ground. And it grows, it becomes a tree. So I was a bit skeptical. I was like, nah, I don't think I really believe that. Did it with a few, and they're growing. So I will show them to you in a different video. So poplar, 65 to 70% dry matter digestibility and a really good drought fodder. It's also pretty handy for assisting with erosion and shelter belts. Obviously, the fact that it is deciduous, so the leaves fall in winter, limits its shelter belt effectiveness in the colder months, but still it's pretty bloody good for providing shade in summer, and the horses love it. So, gonna get chopping. So if you're hesitating to get into all of this stuff because the idea of growing trees you think is going to take forever, please let me introduce you to this edition of the Weed series. It's called Tagasaste, otherwise known as tree lucerne. And this stuff grows so easily and so quickly. It's drought resilient. It's pretty hard to kill once it's established, but it can be a little bit frost sensitive in its first year. I can feed it in winter, can feed it all seasons. It's a nitrogen fixer, which means it draws nitrogen out of the atmosphere and stores it in the soil, which is excellent. It's like a fertilizer that the tree does for itself. Unreal. In about 15 minutes, at a ute load, courtesy of 3 weed trees. So we'll see how much the spoilt little brats enjoy it. Alright, so here they are. 3 racehorses and a Brumby. That's the Brumby. Hey, Ben. You bunch of dicks. So, as you can see, pretty well received. There is bugger all feed around, and I would like to save the pasture as much as I can. Just in case you're worried that your horses aren't going to eat it, these 3 institutionalised thoroughbreds, they all raced, they all went through the system. Get yourself a Brumby. They're free most of the time, or pretty bloody cheap, and they are so good for showing these sort of slightly more sheltered horses how to get out and enjoy a more diverse diet.